live. Yo, so the camera has come on, and yes, I'm back for my Friday live. I just wonder how your week has been. If you're catching me right now, please type in the comment section. Let me know who you are, where you're watching from, and share your highlights for the week. And I'll share my highlight for this week. I kind of had a small mishap. I almost lost the front teeth, but whew, thank God for dentists who are quick. So thank you all of you who are joining in right now. Good to see you here in the live. And my highlight, like I said, for this week is that my front teeth were saved. So I'm able to smile today and do my Friday live with you. So we're catching up on what I promised to share this week, and that was spaces and how they impact speaking in public. Last week I was talking about how you can become an effective communicator in any situation, and it's all about knowing what you want to say and get to the point. But did you know that spaces also affect how you speak in public and your message is received by the listener or your audience, whether it's an audience of 1 or 1 billion? Spaces also do play a part in effective communication. You know, we have nonverbal communication, and space falls under that category of nonverbal communication. Research has revealed that 55% of communication is carried out by the nonverbal communication. And what do I mean by nonverbal? When you don't speak, like your body language, and also the space. How far I am and how close I am is already having impact on how I am communicating effectively. So let me share with you here quickly the 4 spaces from which we speak in public. And remember, I've always said that public speaking is anytime you open up your mouth to make your common ideas, your common experiences and explorations to be known by verbalizing them so that others may know what's going on in your world and you bring them into that common understanding. So there are 4 spaces from which we speak in order to have impact. The first space is your intimate space. That is where you are close to yourself and those who are close to you. It could be a spouse, your family, relatives, those who are really close and get to know the nitty-gritty and your secrets. That is your intimate space. So when you're speaking in the intimate space, there's a different way in which you engage people who come into that intimate space. And then the next space you have is what we call the personal space. In the personal space, you can still have friends and family, colleagues, people who you tend to interact with on a more regular basis but are not really close to you and not so intimate, but you're already in contact with them. It could be a business partner, business associations, professional space. That is what you call your personal space. It's just like when you're going to office and they give you your own little corner in that open room. That is your personal space at the workplace. And then we have the next space, which is called the social space. It's much bigger from the intimate, from the personal. It's when you have to interact with people who you don't quite really know on a regular basis, but you will run into them like if you're going to the cinema, you're going for a party, socializing. It's a much bigger arena, a much bigger space. You may know them on a high basis, but you don't really know what's going on in their world. That is the social space. And the last space where we speak from in public is wide, what we call the public space, where to whom it may concern, you may not necessarily know the people who are in that arena, but when you speak to them from a place where you speak as a human being and from human experience. I do not know you, but we're going through the same experience, and that space is much bigger. And that's what most people get into train so that they can know how to keep engagement with people who they really do not have contact with. So depending on who you want to talk to and how you want them to receive your message, you should always be aware of the spaces in which you're going to speak in public so that your message is effectively received. For instance, I'll give an example of the kitchen. I don't like cooking, by the way, but I've seen so many people, if you get into their space when they're in the kitchen cooking, they are really irritated because you're too close to them. It is their territory, it is their arena. So in case you have those kind of people who, when they're in the kitchen, they want to be alone, ask for permission before you invade their space, because trust me, when you walk in and you're carrying on with your conversation, they're not paying attention to you. Inside they're saying, gosh, could this person just leave my space? I want to cook, get out of this. And guess what? You may have gone rattling on with a long story, but they will not pay attention because all that was going on in their mind, this is my space, I want to cook, please get out of here. We'll have the conversation at the dinner table. So spaces also matter how you're going to effectively communicate or deliver your message. Always be conscious of how you want the message to be received and what is the end after you've given your message. And then if we realize that it is a wrong space from which you should be communicating, wait and engage the person in the right space so that your message, your intention will be effectively received. I mean, let's face it, not very many people want their space invaded at the workplace. And so probably if you were coming to my desk early in the morning when I'm just finishing my meditation and you come up close to me in my face and I'm like, whoa, you're invading my space. It's a bit too intimate. Even when you're traveling in different parts of the country or the world, be sure how you're going to engage people who are outside of your intimate space, your personal space, social space, and public space. You know, cultures are different. Some cultures, they don't mind if you're up close and personal and hugging, while some cultures, they want you at an arm's distance. And that's why when it comes to public speaking, you should also have cultural intelligence so that you know the culture of people, the culture of people's homes, the culture of a workplace. So when you get out to engage and speak in public, you will engage them from a space where they are comfortable. Now, here's one simple thing I want to share with you. If you ever want to intimidate someone, please don't use it. Get close to them and start asking them questions at a high rate of speech, pace it. Especially when they're carrying out investigations. You've seen the movies of detectives, they get close and they make you feel uncomfortable. It's a trick. That's if you're trying to interrogate somebody and you think they have done something wrong. Otherwise, the intimate space is very intimate. You should always be careful how you approach someone on a business proposal and zone in to their intimate space. They might not listen to what you're saying, and guess what? You do not have an effective communication. Your message is misconstrued, misunderstood, a breakdown, and what would have come as a good network and a good business deal could easily go down the drain. So those are the 4 zones from which we speak, and how you stand in that space to engage someone will impact how your message will be received. And guess what? Since the worldwide pandemic, now we also have the virtual space. That space also has to be engaged differently. You know, there's sometimes when you get into a Zoom or whatever, using Team or whatever, and there is just no engagement because, you know, the virtual space also has a unique way in which you can engage. Human beings are always looking for in-person connection, but the virtual space now is challenging us to speak in a different manner so that even though we're in a virtual space, there is impact and engagement. So that's what I'm sharing with you today, the 4 places from which you can speak to impact. As a speaker, always be conscious of who you're speaking to, what space they're in so that your message could be delivered effectively. Know when not to invade the personal, how to use the personal, the intimate, the social space, and the public space. Right, so I hope you're all going to have a nice weekend and engage your spaces so that you have effective communication. This weekend, I'm getting out of the city, so I'm going to engage a bigger space, public space. I'm going to the jungle. All right, I'm getting out of town. So always use the spaces effectively if you want to have an effective communication of your message. Know which space you are engaging someone in so that it will also decide what hand gestures were going out, what kind of words you're going to be using so that they can be paying attention and listen to what you are saying. So if you catch this when I'm done, please type in the chat. Let me know where you're from, when you watched it, some highlights of your week. I shared that mine, I almost lost my front teeth, but they were safe so I can manage to smile and do my live with you today. And so I'm going out of town just to give myself a break and a rest to engage myself with a bigger space. So catch you again next Friday. We'll do a Friday live, and in case you do not know who I am, I'm Irene Ochoa, the founder of the Engage Speak Academy. It's an online academy which helps you engage and have effective public speaking. So whenever you speak in public, you connect, you are clear, and you impact. So catch you again next Friday on the Friday live, and remember to engage those spaces so that you have effective communication. Bye-bye.